everybody, Joseph Rothschild here, aka MBT, and we have today an exclusive, for the moment, interview with GiantSkyhawk. You all may know GiantSkyhawk from their unbelievable finishes in the Chalice Line Monthlies, their unbelievable finishes in Trinity format, their band, their billion-dollar philanthropy organization. I mean, did I miss anything?
Well, you missed that I'm also the protagonist of the acclaimed Digimon spin-off Dinosaur King, so
That
there's
is
that.
true. That is true. Congratulations, by the way, on becoming the Dinosaur King. I know that was a big step in your life.
Yep, absolutely, and now I finally got my first ever official Konami event top, and feels great.
So you did not just get your first official Konami event top. You got 4th place, right?
Yeah, I got 4th after Swiss.
Wow.
I would consider it top 8. I actually had to concede my top 8 match to get to work on time.
Oh wait,
But
they played it out?
Yeah, they played out top 8, and
You had to go to
I
work?
literally typed to the judge. I typed to the judge, I want my invite, but I have to leave for work. I concede.
Oh, that's so painful. Oh,
Yeah.
well, the working man's burden never ends. I can't believe you jammed in this many rounds of competition, then immediately went to work. Were you just drained?
Yeah, I was dead. I was absolutely, completely dead at work. My own dad came in to order food, and I did not recognize him.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh. So, for those of you who aren't caught up on the Skyhawk lore, you may not know, this individual has spent, I think, more time labbing this deck than any other human in recorded time. You have put together combo builds you've played in Chalice Line Monthlies that play Mecha Phantom Beast, Eros Jin. In this deck, you're playing a bunch of absolute nonsense. Gilasaurus in the main, 42 cards. May I draw everyone's attention to Time Wizard of Tomorrow in the extra deck. So I guess I would ask, what the hell, man? What is this list?
Okay, so to explain what this is, just very quickly, it is Dragoon Dinosaur. The main idea behind this build is that you want to go first, and you're ending on a board of Dragoon, obviously, the wonderful card in the format, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, and any choice of rank 4, blind, you're usually doing Volzar Dolka. Any of your 2-card dinosaur combos can do this, provided that you play Giant Rex. And the reason that I'm doing this is because a lot of the blind second lists have the problem of needing to draw good cards, and this version of the deck doesn't have to draw good cards, it can draw Solemn Judgment. And Dark Ruler No More is really problematic in the format, and something that dinosaur builds have been struggling with as of late is Lancea sucks. You see a lot of builds starting to side stuff like Artifact Sanctum in the side deck, in order specifically to just try to have some way to beat Lancea. So I'm like, why not skip the middleman? Put the cards in the main deck. And I think Solemn Judgment and Imperial Order solve a few other problems. And that's part of the reason why we're also playing Gilasaurus, and I can maybe explain that a bit later when we get into the rest of the card choices. Also, for 42 cards, that's actually based on math. Pot of Prosperity is ridiculous. Man, maybe I can talk about that when we actually get to talking about Pot, but 42 cards is an actual hard math thing that we have figured out.
It is so silly hearing how much thought has been put into this deck. I mean, people conceive of Dinosaur as like the Unga Bunga, time to strike with Ultimate Conductor type deck, but I mean, you all in the Dino Discord are actually like have theorems open on your laptops, right?
Yep, his name is Cow Dude on the Dinosaur Discord. We literally have an Excel spreadsheet with like about 1,000 different possible deck lists, anywhere from 40 to 48 cards, with different ratios for extenders. I've cut a couple of the good ones here, but we've put the work into this. This is like the culmination of all of our thinking put together, and I'm really glad I was actually able to get a result. Now people have to listen to me when I tell them to go first.
Exactly. I mean, just unbelievable finish, of course. Congratulations to you. But it's nice to see like a build of Dinosaur that's based on copious testing instead of just like, okay, you play 3 Oviraptor, 3 Miscellaneousaurus, 3 Lightning Storm, 3 Forbidden Drop, and we're done.
Yep, that was absolutely the point you made. And the thing is with those cards, right? Oftentimes those dinosaur builds can have a really hard time setting up after they finish, especially if they have the Dark Ruler No More to break a Dragon Link board.
Mhm.
Even if you can set up Dolka UCT afterwards, sometimes it's not enough. If they have Boot Sector launch that you can't really interrupt, you set their monsters afterwards, they're just going to make a Boral Sword and kill you anyway. And especially if they have like a spare tidying or something, they can just hold it and then bounce your Dolka. So from the perspective of uh, trying to find a way to actually win a 3-game match instead of just a single game blind second, I think this was the way to go.
Yeah, and obviously it paid off for you. Um, I guess we should talk about the list, and then we'll talk a little bit about your specific tournament run, unless you want to do it in the opposite order.
No, I think it's better to explain the list first because it bleeds a little bit into how the actual event played out.
Sure. So let's start with Soul Eating Oviraptor. What does this card do? This is the first time I'm reading this.
So if this is your first time reading this card, it is a combination of 2 cards that you might be aware of, Elemental Hero Stratos and Armageddon Knight.
Cool.
And not only that, it has another effect on top of that. So if it's normal or special summons, you can take a dinosaur-type monster of any level and of any name, including itself, and add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. The number of times in this deck that you add Oviraptor, and that's something that you're allowed to do, is silly. But on top of the fact that it's like a starter and a combo piece because of the release of a Jewel Boy we can get into, it's also a crazy enabler because it can destroy dinosaurs anywhere on the field. You can use it with Lost World to start combo plays. Oviraptor Lost World in this deck is full combo. You can play all sorts of different mind games and playing through Ash in the beginning. So, like, I don't understand why they printed this, but I love that they did. It's beautiful.
For sure. And Miscellaneousaurus in the vein of cards that are extremely busted.
Yeah, contrary to popular belief, I am one of the few individuals who has read this card.
Well, that explains your finish.
Exactly. The protection is obviously really strong. People don't play into it very much anymore. It used to be that you could get away with it quite a lot and be like Chain Misc, but now people will hold their disruptions. But the fact that this card is a play starter now, because Archosaur exists, makes it just all the more powerful. And in the middle of your combo, the fact that you can put a Misc underneath of your Dolka and then have that as follow-up for the next turn is ridiculous. Like, the card is play starting, it's extending, and it's follow-up all in one piece. It's very dumb.
And the favorite target of Misc, Animadorned Archosaur. Now, this card is a little expensive. Can I play this deck without Archosaur?
You cannot play this version of the deck without Archosaur.
Well, okay.
Unfortunately, unfortunately, because of the way the combos function, you can't make anything outside of Dolka and Pankratops as a part of a 2-card combo without the other auxiliary pieces. So I would not play this list if you don't have Archosaur. If you don't have Archosaur, we have some budget lists put together in the Dino Discord. They're mostly focused on trap cards. So it's like Survival, Zen Control, and a couple of really good utility stuff. And you play more of a resource game. But if you want to play this, unfortunately, you do have to have at least 1 Archosaur.
And the card Archosaur is known for popping. Baby Ceratosaurus, I mean, when is this card getting banned exactly?
Yeah, honestly, ban Baby might be the move, because if you ban Baby, Petite Pteranodon becomes the combo piece, and that actually causes a lot of problems. Being able to go Baby into Baby is really huge. You have to play 3 Baby in this list specifically. A lot of the blind second lists will play 2, and they're right to do so. But the reason you play 3 is because it gives you a higher chance of opening your starting combo if you see 1 in hand. And also, seeing an extra copy of Baby in hand is really good because there are plays you can do with Lost World that actually let you play around Ash on Misc and still do your full combo. So you want to play 3. And the 1 Petite is because post-siding, you can use it to summon Pankratops right from deck, which is really, really ridiculous. And it's just a 4th copy. Functionally, Petite Pteranodon is exactly the same as any of your other babies for the combo.
Giant Rex, of course. Incredible combo piece. Just so good.
Yep. Yeah, Giant Rex, you only play really in the go first builds. Some blind second builds play it, but some haven't because drawing it can sometimes be dead. But you have to play it in this version because if you don't play Giant Rex, Oviraptor Lost World isn't your full setup. So you do have to play the Giant Rex. And often, if you have extra like Dino Destructions, you can set up Misc Rex as follow-up, which is really stupid because it's a free rank 4 on top of getting your Oviraptor resolution. Very dumb. And also, Giant Rex sometimes gets really big, and you put it under a Pentas deck, and you attack in time.
Annoying. This is the other guy you put under Pentastag a lot of the time, right? Ultimate Conductor Tyranno?
Yep, UCT. I don't need to say much about this. He's the big chunker. You play 2 of it. Yep, you sometimes just can summon this and win against some combo boards that don't have a way to interact with monsters attacking.
So, okay, I guess we have to talk about it now, right? But what is up with the Gilasaurus? This is a card that I forgot existed. It's like an LOB common or something ridiculous. It specials itself for free. Labyrinth of Nightmare. Specials itself for free and allows your opponent to special a monster too. Come on, buddy. This card can't be good.
No. So this explanation might take a bit. This card is the reason to play the deck. You must play one. And it's the reason that it's the entire reason that I'm actually playing this version of Dinosaur. So a big problem that this solves is Lancea, right? So let's say you're playing a blind second Dinosaur build and your opponent activates Artifact Lancea in the draw phase, and you don't have Gamma and you don't have Mystic Mine. You instantly lose. I love Dinosaur and I don't like instantly losing. So let's say they Lancea you in standby before you Prosperity or anything, and you've got an Oviraptor hanging out. You can go Oviraptor, add Gilasaurus, and special summon that Gilasaurus. Then you link them off into Verte Anaconda. It's not a very exciting play, but what it does is it allows you for like a Tower's End of Disruption on top of keeping a lot of cards in your hand. And because of the trap cards we're playing in the main deck, oftentimes even with Lancea, you'll end on Dragoon Judgment. And even against like top tier meta threats, that's a big problem. Especially if they're playing Dark Ruler and they Dark Ruler your Dragoon. Okay, I'm playing with Dinosaur cards next turn. I don't care about my Dragoon. So not only is it that, if you open Archosaur, Baby, and Lustworld through Lancea, you can actually make rank 4 of Dragoon. So you can end on Dolka Dragoon through Lancea, but you have to play Gilasaurus in order to do it. You go normal summon Archosaur, give them the token, pop the baby, add your pill, which you can't use because of Lancea. Baby Sarasaurus summons Oviraptor. Oviraptor won't add Misk, Oviraptor will add Gilasaurus. Then you go Oviraptor, target the Lost World token, and then Lost World to protect, pop your baby. Baby will summon Miscellaneousaurus and you'll overlay for Dolka. Then you'll special summon Gilasaurus and you'll make a Verte. So your opponent has Lancea'd you, thinking that it's going to instantly win them the game, and they've sided, thinking that Lancea is going to win them the game. Instead, they're facing down a pill in your hand, 3 other cards in your hand, and a Dolka and a Dragoon, or any rank 4 of your choice depending on the matchup. So not only does Gilasaurus solve the main weakness of the deck, it can also sometimes turn off your opponent's Gamma. So let's say your opponent gets greedy, and they Lancea you and you special summon a Gilasaurus. They special summon Lancea. Guess what? Not only can they not activate the effect of Lancea again, because the effect is already applying, when you summon Dragoon, you can use its effect to burn them for another 1700. So Gilasaurus is actually bait to make lethal more likely. And also, depending on what's in your graveyard, if you Gilasaurus and they special something back, then it opens up more lethal options with Pentastack UCT. So Gilasaurus helps with OTKs, it helps with consistency, and it helps play through the most common disruption people are siding against you. It is the best card on the list, you must play it, and I will fight anyone who says otherwise.
God, I hate hearing this. I liked the dinosaur that lost to Lancea. Oh, man. Wow. On one hand, I want to be like, wow, it seems like you're doing a lot to justify this card. But on the other hand, I just think to the hundreds of times I've watched a dinosaur player punch through a wall because they got Lancea'd. And I don't know, it sounds pretty good. How was it in the event?
I would have gone 2 and 4 instead of 5 and 1 if I was not playing Gilasaurus.
Oh my god!
I'm not kidding. You have to play it. I got Lancea'd so many times. And when you get Lancea'd, the thing is, right? People will side thinking that Lancea will stop you. So
of course.
They might even side out stuff like Ash or other blind second tools just because they're like, well, my deck is maybe weird. So they'll literally be like, oh. What? And like, I specifically, there was one game where maybe I could talk about it more later, but it was literally I got Lancea'd and it was double Judgment, Dolka Dragoon with a card in hand.
Oh my god.
And it was like, and they were like, what am I supposed to do? And I'm like, well, that's kind of the idea. It's genuinely, it's the thing that looks the strangest, but it is what makes the deck tick.
Wow.
And I also, my final game, I attacked with Gilasaurus for game, and that got me my invite. So
well, okay, then you actually have to be playing it. That's 100% like card spirit shit right there.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you're on 2 Lancea yourself. You know, it's too good to pass up, I guess.
That's a good card. I mean, the other it beats the dinosaur list that aren't playing Gilasaurus.
I guess so, buddy. I guess so.
So, not only that, this especially so I my first two rounds of Dragon League and I beat them. The
Mhm,
reason I'm playing two of this is for siding ratio reasons because I'm
mhm.
playing four trap cards and two Lancia. It works with some of my other side deck ratios.
Oh, you can go 3 and
Um,
3.
yeah, and we did the math on hand traps, and so basically, the Gammas, the driver, and the two Lancias, and then my three solemn judgments were the nine hand traps that we did in the math. And so I
Mhm.
just decided to play the judgments instead of hand traps. So I had a two of slot.
Oh,
Lancia
sure.
helps you not die. Ash doesn't really do enough against the combo decks,
Right.
and um, something that's a problem for this deck, game one specifically, is Barrier Statue for the Trap Brigade stuff that's been running around a lot around duels lately.
Right.
Lancia will prevent you from dying. So if you're going first and you get like Dark Rulered and screwed up against like a Dragon Link deck or like Tactics or anything, Lancia means that they can't Chaos Space to dig for more stuff. They can't levy you to rip a card out of your hand. And they can't summon a black and white dragon. So even if their hand is really good and they can still play and break your board, you're not going to die and you'll only have one disruption to sift through. So Lancia is like the highest impact thing that you can main, where drawing it is not terrible against almost every matchup, and it's really good against the matchups you have problems with.
Sure. We've got Double Evo, Fossil Dig, Lost World. Anything to say about any of these?
Uh, Not too much. Gamma is simple. It also serves as protection for your misc play, so it's nice to have. The
Mhm.
vanillas are, they're there. I play them commons IRL just to tilt people.
Nice.
Um, you do have to play two pill as a standard thing for people who don't know, because Archosaur cannot resolve if you don't have a double evolution pill in your deck. It has to search in order to resolve.
Mhm.
So as much as it can suck to draw, you kind of have to do that. Lost World is really broken in this deck because it's also one of the tools that helps you play through Lancia. It forces early tidying activations because it prevents targeting.
Right.
Because they have to target a dragon on the field, or it forces them to like spheres bounce your token, which you're like, okay. Another thing about Lost World that people might miss if they're reading about this stuff for the first time is it is not hard once per turn. So you can if you have two, you can often summon multiple tokens, and then those two tokens, you just put a UCT under them, Pentastag per game.
That's annoying. So one of the things that people think of when they think of Dinosaur is just, hit as hard as possible, as early as possible. So a lot of them aren't playing Pot of Prosperity, or are activating it in main phase 2 or whatever. You think this card is broken to the moon, right?
Yeah, I think this is ridiculous for Dinosaur. Previously one of the previous, Dinosaur had a problem before where you would see two Dinosaur cards, but they wouldn't match. So if you were to see like a Miscellaneousaurus and an Archosaur, or an Archosaur and an Oviraptor, for example, or if you were to see like uh, a Giant Rex and some random thing like a UCT,
Mm-hmm.
you would end on these very stuffed boards where you would either only make a rank 4 or you would pass on UCT, and the rest of your cards in your hand were just going to have to get you there. Prosperity says, I get to pick the Dinosaur card that I want to add to my hand. When you're playing 3 Oviraptor, 3 Misk, 4 different copies of Baby, 2 Archosaur, 2 UCT, your Gilasaurus, and 3 Fossil Dig, your odds of seeing the specific dinosaur you want off of the 6 cards that you banished are incredible. And because Dinosaur can play without a huge chunk of its extra deck, you banish 6 every time you activate this card. So you're digging really deep. When we did some of the math on this, it was really mind-blowing. Simply because of Pot of Prosperity, you can play deck sizes anywhere between 40 to 48 cards and lose maybe 0.25% consistency solely because this card exists. So you can do all sorts of crazy stuff with deck ratios almost entirely because you can excavate 6 and choose a dinosaur card to add to your hand.
Gross.
Yep, it's disgusting. And the half damage doesn't matter because this deck blinds first. And going second, if you don't have the tools to kill, you don't care about killing. And because Dragoon is in this deck has a way easier time breaking boards and putting up a big Chungus that's really hard for decks to deal with just a card they draw off the top of their deck.
Mm-hmm. So we've got Called, we've got Red Eyes Fusion. We have Instant Fusion. And I noticed that you are playing some very interesting targets for this card.
Yep. Should I talk about the targets now? Or
we'll wait till we get to the extra, I guess.
Wait? Okay. I promise you this warrants the slot. It serves as an extra copy of Called by the Grave, and it is a combo piece.
We've got Solemns, we've got Imperial Order. These are unique to your version of the deck. You liked them, right?
Yeah, Judgment is ridiculous. Every time I saw Imperial Order, I won. Every single time I saw Judgment, I won. Every single time I saw Judgment going second, I won. Because you can sometimes push through stuff and make a Dragoon clear their board and set a Judgment, and then any deck with 2 cards in their hand trying to play through an Omni Negate and an Omni Negate will lose. It's really absurd in this. Partially, the surprise factor comes in. When people expect Dinosaur to be a blind second deck, nobody is reading that your set card is a Solemn Judgment. Everybody is like, oh, it's Called by the Grave, or it's a Bluff, or they've set a Pill, or maybe it's something like an Ice Dragon's Prison. And they're playing around those cards. And then you flip the Judgment on their Forbidden Droplet, or you Judgment the normal summon of the Zodiac monster, and they're like, we will go to game 2. It's such a beautiful thing. Another funny interaction that can come up, didn't happen this tournament. You can Judgment the summon of your own baby to trigger its effect.
Dumb! Stupid!
Because baby just has to be destroyed and sent to the graveyard. Does not matter if it happens in the weird zone between it being in your hand and attempting to summon it.
Alright, let's talk about the side, I guess. So, you're on 2 Ash, 2 Droll. I imagine this is because that trades with the Lancea slot?
Yeah, pretty much. Matchups where Lancea isn't good, either Ash or Droll is much better. Droll versus, like, Dogma Invoked kind of stuff. Sometimes against Dinosaur, but not always. Depends on the list. And just anything, any rogue stuff that searches like crazy.
Yeah.
And Ash is mostly for control matchups. Being able to hold an Ash in your hand for a couple of turns against something really control heavy, like Trap Burning Abyss or Altergeist, and timing that Ash at the right moment so that you can then just swarm the board and go for game is really important.
Mm-hmm. Nibiru, of course, perennial extra deck inclusion, I imagine.
Yep, it's Nibiru came up against Dragon Link. You see it, and it doesn't completely wipe their board, but it gives you an extra body to work with that's very large. Right. So it can often force seal quite early. And serving as extra link material for Dragoon is quite nice. And Nibiru has very interesting synergy with this deck. Lost World has text that reads, and I quote, while your opponent controls a token, they cannot target monsters on the field with card effects. So if you Nibiru them, and you give them a token, not only can you protect that token with Lost World, because Lost World can prevent the destruction of any normal monster. If they control any token, they can't target. So you can activate Lost World, and they immediately have to activate Seal, removing the Nibiru token, or they lose.
Did you?
Wow.
Did you ever live the dream where it's like Nibiru token, and they're like, okay, make Alpi move it with Guard Dragon, and you get to go, no, you will not.
Yeah, it's happened.
Disgusting.
It is really beautiful because the deck doesn't play a way to clear the token. They don't play generic Link monsters except for Boral Sword.
There's no like spider in the list, really.
Yep.
Yikes. Pankratops is in your side deck. What the heck? What's going on here?
Yeah, this is definitely worth explaining. This is definitely controversial for a Dino build. Game 1 going first, you do not want to draw this card. It doesn't do anything for you. As a piece of follow-up, it doesn't work great. Because if your board isn't broken, you've already won. If your board is broken, you might still have a monster left on the field just because of the nature of how like Dragoon and UCT Abdulka works. Mm-hmm. So Pankratops is more often than not going to be live. You'd rather that card be something like a Solemn Judgment or an Artifact Lancea or Called by the Grave or Instant Fusion or any other card that gets you there. And especially because we're already committing 3 slots to the Dragoon package and the driver. Main decking the Pankratops doesn't work. You sometimes will side in going first game 3 against like control matchups, and then instead of summoning Conductor, you'll summon Pankratops off of Pill, because Pankratops is a level 7 monster and a legal target for double evolution Pill for some reason. But aside from that, I keep it in the side because you don't want to draw it game 1.
Wow. And then, Dark Ruler No More, pretty self-explanatory, I suppose.
Yep, standard fare. Back row stuff. The 2 Cosmic Cyclones, the Harpy's Feather Duster, and the Red Reboot. I'm only playing 2 Cyclone because I don't own a 3rd.
That's miserable to hear. Do not tell me that.
And, the other 2, it's 4 slots that slot in with the trap cards. So I'm going second against a back row deck. I do, however, sometimes keep Judgment in against the back row decks. If it's a really slow thing, then having a Judgment to hit a key piece of something like an Ice Dragon's Prison, a attempting to hit a Dragoon by getting rid of the Dark Magician, for example. Being able to hold Judgment for that for when they try to activate it in the battle phase is really big. So sometimes I actually keep them in, but usually I'll side them out for the back.
All right. We've teased it long enough. Let's talk about this extra deck. So you've talked a lot about Dragoon already. You've talked a little about Millenniumize Restrict as an instant fusion target. What the fuck are you doing with Time Wizard of Tomorrow? What is this card?
Okay. So for those that have not read this, the material
everyone here.
It was literally a promo card in the wonderful set Legendary Duelist Season 2.
Of course.
How could you possibly miss this?
Of course.
No, so I did not come up with this, full disclosure. This was the idea of Frozen on the Dino Discord, so I just want to give credit. This card is ridiculous in this deck. Once per turn, while you control this fusion summon card, you can toss a coin and call it. Destroy as many monsters on the field as possible. And if you do, inflict damage equal to half the total of the original attack of those destroyed face-up monsters. The important thing is not the damage. If you take the damage, it doesn't matter. If your opponent takes the damage, it doesn't matter. No matter the result of the coin flip, it's destroying all the monsters on the field. So going second, it's like a board wipe, and that's cool. But the reason you play this is because if you draw Lost World, Instant Fusion, and Baby Sarasaurus, it plays through 2 separate hand traps, and it creates like a basically unwinnable situation for your opponent in terms of using them. So you go normal summon Baby, you give them the token, you summon Time Wizard of Tomorrow, you activate Time Wizard effect, and you take what, 1250 damage? Doesn't matter. You destroy the Baby and the Time Wizard, and then you Lost World protect the token to destroy a Baby. So you get Chainlink 1 Baby, Chainlink 2 Baby. So if they Ash a Baby, you summon Overraptor, add Misk, Overraptor effect, target the Lost World token, summon Baby, pitch Misk, full combo. If they Ash your Oviraptor, you use your, so say you take your babies and you summon Oviraptor and the 3rd baby. If they Ash Oviraptor, you Oviraptor target Baby, destroy Baby, special Baby, and then special Arco. Arco pop the Baby to add Pill, summon Giant Rex, and that's your full combo. So Ash at any point in that combo, you still get the whole thing. So not only does it play around Ash, it also plays around Lancea, because you could do the Overraptor pop things, and you just Overraptor add Gilasaurus, and you do the rank 4 Dragoon thing. And you see instant fusion more frequently because of Pot of Prosperity on the map, so it is worth it to play this in the slot.
I'm not posting this video. I don't want people to beat me with this. Come on! Oh my god. So, okay, here's the question. Did you resolve it?
I did. I did resolve it.
Oh, I'm gonna attack you!
No, the only time I did resolve it was the match that I lost. It was a bit of a subpar combo, but I did resolve it against Hanko Chow, and that was funny.
Oh god. So we'll see the TCG Player Infinite article momentarily then.
Absolutely. Something else to mention about destroying Lost World tokens is you can use the effect of Dragoon on your next turn to pop a Lost World token to start your Dinosaur engine, so that's pretty cool.
I don't know if I would call it cool. So you've got Dweller, you've got Dolka, you've got Lagia, you've got Dugaris to pump your Ultimate Conductor. What's up with Gaga Cowboy?
Well, you see, in I think 2018 it was, there was a change in the rules of the game. And there are a couple of decks in the format right now that take quite a long time to play their turns.
That is true.
And sometimes time ends up getting pretty short. And because you're a dinosaur deck, depending on what's happened in the match, they will often make you go first so that they can get damage in. Spoiler alert. That doesn't happen. This deck can make Cowboy really easily. It sucks to have to play this because of the rules, but when a Prank Kid player is allowed to take like 10-15 minutes to do their turn, and
every one of their cards is a cowboy.
Yeah, and every one of their cards is a cowboy. You gotta play something to make the dream work, especially in remote duels where stuff can sometimes take a bit longer anyway. It's justified to play.
Did you ever have to do it?
I did not. However,
good on you.
The cowboy did get me my invite to qualify for this invitational.
Very funny. We've got Tornado Dragon. I guess that's pretty self-explanatory also. Is there some nonsense that I'm not seeing with this card that's going to make me upset?
Not really. I play it over Phoenix because if you're ever in a situation where you have to make a Nightmare Phoenix, you have probably already lost.
That
In
is true.
testing, it wasn't worth the slot, and this deck has a much easier time making Rainforest.
Hmm.
And being able to do something like detach a Giant Rex so that you can banish it is really strong. And the only card that you have that really does that, aside from Dweller and Dugaras, which you sometimes don't want to detach both materials from, is Tornado. And so it's just useful to have as backer removal and as a way to discard to detach Giant Rex.
So, the rest of the extra deck is kind of baffling. We've got Cerberus, Link Spider, Link Rebo, Pensatag, Predaplant, Verity Anaconda, and Lambda. And I imagine a lot of these exist just to move stuff on and off your side of the field.
Yeah, pretty much. Link Spider is to go with the Gamma package
Hmm.
because Link Spider, if you link off the driver, you can turn Gamma and Link Spider into Verte. It can come off if your opponent has like double Lancea, or if you Gamma to Nash and then Lancea you afterwards.
Hmm.
So it facilitates a way to make Verte if you only have access to like Gamma and Driver. But it's also good because if say for example you get Nibiru'd, right? So the one place in the dinosaur combo where you can be Nibiru'd is where you make a Linkuriboh. So when you make Linkuriboh, they can Nibiru you, and then you're left with the token, right? But if you take the token and you turn it into a Link Spider, you're exactly in the same place as you were before.
Hmm.
So it's basically if they Nibiru you to try to take like a Dragoon or a rank 4 off of your board or something, Link Spider just says, nope, see ya. And then you pop the Nibiru with Dragoon and burn them for 3k.
Right.
Uh, the Verite is self-explanatory. Funny, interesting thing with Verite is that because you're ending on other monsters, unlike some Dragoon decks I know, you'll you can if you want to avoid Super Poly, you can just Verite target your Dulka, and then you can have either Dulka negate it or Dragoon negate it to clear it from the board, which is kind of nice because you can choose if you want to keep the card in your hand at the cost of one less monster negate from Dulka,
Hmm.
or if you want to pump the Dragoon up some more attack. Then Karibo is part of the standard combo. You link it off with Archosaur. Notice we're not playing Secure Guard now because you don't need it. Since you're linking your two bodies off into Verte, there's never any reason to play Secure Guard now. Lambda is maybe the most cuttable card on the list. I play it because it comes up sometimes where you can add it to your end board, and then Gamma, like add a Gamma just as another form of disruption or as another card to discard. It sometimes comes up where you have two Gammas in your hand, and then going second, you'll like link into a Lambda with some stuff so that your other Gamma is live. But the main reason you play this is to bluff.
Hmm.
So if you have like a weird hand, maybe like some trap cards and a couple monsters, but maybe you drew a Red Eye Fusion or something, or like a couple of other weird bricks, you can make the Lambda and sit on it, like set two cards, and then your opponent will be like, okay, I might have to actually like think about how I sequence my monster effects, and it can trip them up.
Hmm.
Last one is Cerberus. Cerberus is a combo piece in this deck. Cerberus can target Lost World tokens, and that is very much the reason we
No.
are playing it. Any two monsters, Cerberus target a Lost World token to destroy it by discarding the card is full combo.
Oh.
Uh, so it's like Orcus combo, but except instead of two monsters, it's two monsters in Lost World.
Ah, I we gotta ban Lost World. Oh my gosh, this is so
Yeah,
frustrating.
yes. And in general, that's pretty much the setup. I explained why I don't play the Phoenix and the Secure Guard now. Yeah, that's the list.
All right, so for anyone concerned that you like had to tear through a bunch of children and like maybe like halfway through a game, the one pro player you had to play, like nodded off to sleep or something, uh, you can correct that here. You had a crazy run against some of the best players in the game, right?
Yeah, so I beat Gabe Vargas and Kyle Waterbury to make it through, and I did lose to Hanko Chow. That was my only loss. But I had to play against those three. They're extremely strong and respectable players in their own right.
Vargas, Waterbury, Chow, 6-round tournament sounds good.
Yeah,
Jeez.
it was pretty ridiculous.
Wow. Any exciting things happen in your actual tournament run?
Yeah, I'll maybe do like a super fast run through of
Yeah,
matchups
yeah, yeah.
because this. Yeah. So round one, I beat Dragon Link 2-1. It was pretty standard. Game one, like I went first and I did the combo and I won. Game two, I couldn't break the board. Game three, they bricked astronomically, and so I
Impossible.
won. It was World Legacy Guard Dragon, Chaos Space, Imperial Order and 2 Tactics.
That's so funny.
And so they set Imperial Order. I had a combo without using a Fossil Dig. And then when I got Archosaur Baby and my 2 level 4 monsters, I think OV Misk, they flipped up the Imperial Order to try to avoid me making the Logia to negate it, but I just made Tornado Dragon. So Tornado Dragon won me that game.
Excellent.
Round 2 was Dragon Link, which I beat 2-1. And I lost the dice roll, but I managed to break the board game 1 because I was able to make Dragoon Judgment after breaking their board. And they couldn't play through Dragoon Judgment. So Judgment is actually pretty decent going second if the rest of your hand is quite good, just because of the ability to make Dragoon. Round 3 was against Gabe Vargas. He tweeted about it. It was pretty good. Game 1, I activated Red Ice Fusion, and I won.
Congratulations.
Game 2, he activated Red Ice Fusion, and he won.
You should have played better.
Exactly. I should have simply drawn one of my 2 Ash Blossoms. Game 3 was really weird. He prosperitied and then de-shifted, but his hand was really terrible. So he set like an Ice Dragon's Prison that he added off of the Prosp. And then he summoned, I think it was Libic and it might have been Libic and Calcab from hand. And then made a Dante attack me for 1k and passed. I specialed Pankratops, attacked into the Dante, banished all the stuff, set Judgment to call and passed. He drew. I ashed his Prosperity because I drew it the turn after, and he passed. And then next turn I had Misk Baby, and so I Feather Dustered him, and then I Misk Babied, and that was the end of the game.
Weird set.
Yeah, Pankratops control. It works wonders. Round 4 was Waterbury. He was playing Trap Tri-Brigade. I beat him 2-1. I broke a board. I couldn't break the second board with Statue. And then game 3, I got Lancea, but I did the Arco Baby Lost World play to set up Dragoon Dolka, and that was the end of the game.
I can't believe you were rewarded for this.
No.
It's sounding good. It's sounding good. I can't believe I am changing my mind over the course of this conversation.
Yeah. Round 5 was my only loss, Hanko Chow. I bricked bad game 1. I got Mystic Mind, and I was like, I just conceded. I was like, I don't want to sit here and try to draw Imperial Order. I know Prank Kids will beat me in time, so I scooped it up. Game 2, I did resolve the fusion combo. I did resolve Time Wizard. He had Ash for one of the babies, but I called by it. But he played through Lagia and Dragoon and then activated Mystic Mind. It's like, oh, damn it. So I played that one out, but I did not draw a Cosmic or an Imperial Order in time, and then he was able to break out of my stuff and win that up. But it was cool to play against Senko. Round 6 was, and so at this point, I have to win round 6. I'm 4-1. I know that there are people with draws, so I have to win. So it's against Trap Zodiac. Game 1, I lost the die roll, but I was able to win because Dragoon is a ridiculous card, and I judgmented the summon of a normal summon. Funny how that works. Zodiac does not play very well into UCT, and it doesn't play very well into Judgment. Round 2, I couldn't beat Drident, and then the following turn I couldn't beat Drident Zeus Strike, so I lost. Game 3, we had some back and forth going on. He had set up some trap cards and some other stuff, and I had set up a Lagia and a Dragoon, again with Gilasaurus through Valencia. But it was a very awkward situation where I had given him 2 Lost World tokens. I had a UCT on the field. He had like 4,900 life points and 3 trap cards. So I tried to link into a Pentastack so I could pierce through the tokens, but he did Solemn Strike on someone of the Pentastack. And I look at my hand, and I see that there is a 1,400 attack Gilasaurus.
No!
And I haven't used my normal summon. So I normal summoned Gilasaurus. I attacked into 1 token with Lagia. I attacked into 1 token with Dragoon. I attacked directly for 3,500, and I attacked directly for the remaining 1,400 life points with Gilasaurus.
I can't believe you. Oh my gosh. Well, so congratulations. This means you will be getting your Konami portrait. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I'll have to change my profile picture everywhere to be as obnoxious as possible about it.
Yeah. Please do. Well, this is nearing 40 minutes, so
Oh my god.
any final thoughts before you are late for work?
Oh yeah. Sorry for keeping you here so long explaining this. I'm just
No,
very excited that I
it was
have my first
illuminating. I
talk.
can't believe it.
Yeah. I feel like there's some knowledge here that I can impart. Dinosaur is not just a blind second deck. It is a deck that can go first and control the game and play a very mid-range oriented style of deck where you're looping resources. You might play a couple of trap cards, and you do so in a specific way that counters the counters that people are preparing for in the Dino strategy. Blind Second is a great deck, but right now I think this is the way to play it. Um, as well, just a couple shout outs to people who've helped. Every single person in the Dinosaur Discord, my partner in crime, Sidred, on this stuff for like the last year running, who believed in me when I said Arrow Squin was good. Wolfire, Outback YGO, Frozen, Cookie, Reversal, Ice Crispy. Definitely people I'm missing there. Everybody in the Edmonton Yu-Gi-Oh scene, all of them thought I was nuts playing Paleo Dino back in the day. Finally proven I could do it. And finally, a massive shout out to you, MBT. Without the community you've built in the Discord and in the internet presence, I don't think I would be playing the game at the level I am. So thank you very much for helping me to keep going.
Well, you know, I would thank you, but I don't know if I can really take credit for a dinosaur player being in the format. Maybe I should have done a better job of gatekeeping you out of it. Oh my gosh, this list is so cool! I can't believe I'm excited to play Dino!
It's who was it? Asian Persuasion messaged me and I told him about Time Wizard and he was like, "LOL, I might have to try this."
Yes, absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, dude. Massive congratulations. I can't wait to root for you in the actual invitational proper. Take the thing home for me. I don't know. Anything else?
I will do my best to bring home King of Games for the MBT crew. And just as a final note of warning, Scrap Raptor releases before the event.
Okay.